You might think that the first thing you eat in the morning is harmless. Maybe it's just a cup of coffee, a slice of toast, or nothing at all. But what if I told you that this simple choice, repeated day after day, could quietly rob you of the very thing that keeps you independent, your legs? I'm not talking about a distant problem that might happen years from now. I'm talking about a slow, silent breakdown already happening in millions of people over 60. It's a breakdown you can't see in the mirror. You don't feel it at first. But over time, it shows up in subtle, unsettling ways. Your steps get shorter. Your knees ache when you stand. Your balance feels a little less steady. And then one day, you find yourself hesitating before getting out of a chair. These are not random aches or just age. They are warning signs that your legs are losing strength faster than you realize. When you wake up, your body is in a fragile state. You've gone 7, 8, maybe 9 hours without eating. That's a long time for your muscles to be without fuel. Overnight, your body searches for energy to keep your heart beating, your brain working, your lungs moving air. For younger people, that's not a problem. Their bodies can tap into stored energy without losing much muscle. But after 60, the game changes. Your body becomes more likely to break down muscle tissue for fuel, especially in the legs and hips, which are your primary engines for walking, balance, and getting around. This breakdown is called a catabolic state. And if you start each day without the right nutrients, you are inviting it to continue hour after hour until weakness becomes your new normal. Here's the scary part. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that older adults can lose up to 1/3 of their leg muscle mass in just a decade. That loss doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual, creeping in so slowly you barely notice, until you do. The stumbles become more frequent. Stairs feel steeper. You stop doing little things like taking that evening walk or climbing up to get something from the top shelf because it's just too much effort. And while you might think the answer is simply more exercise, the truth is your morning habits, specifically what you eat in the first hour after waking, are just as important, if not more so, than the time you spend in the gym. That first bite of food is not just about stopping hunger, it's a biological signal. The right foods can switch your body from breaking down muscle to repairing and building it. They can improve blood flow to your lower body, feed your nerves, and reduce the inflammation that makes your joints stiff. The wrong foods or no food at all send the opposite message, keeping your body in breakdown mode. And that means every hour you delay eating something nourishing, your legs are literally feeding themselves to keep the rest of you running. Let me be clear. I'm not here to tell you to buy a special powder or start a complicated diet. I'm talking about simple, everyday foods, some of which you probably already have in your kitchen, that have been proven to protect and even rebuild leg strength when eaten in that critical first hour after waking. But before I reveal them, you need to understand why so many people get this wrong. The most common mistake? Skipping breakfast entirely. The second, reaching for quick carbs, white bread, sugary cereal, pastries that spike your blood sugar, inflame your tissues, and leave your muscles starving for the one thing they actually need: quality protein and key minerals. Let's start with a food that almost everyone knows, but few truly appreciate: whole eggs. Not just the whites, the whole egg. In the yolk lies a treasure chest of nutrients that aging muscles desperately need. The standout is leucine, an amino acid that acts like a master switch for muscle growth and repair. Think of leucine as the spark that turns on your body's muscle-building engine. And here's the catch. Older adults need more leucine than younger people to get the same effect. That's why 2 whole eggs in the morning can make such a difference. In fact, a study out of the University of Illinois found that seniors who ate 2 whole eggs for breakfast every day for 8 weeks significantly improved their walking speed and leg strength compared to those who didn't. That's not a theory, that's measurable functional improvement. But the benefits don't stop at protein. The yolks are rich in vitamin D and vitamin B12, both essential for nerve health and coordination, as well as choline, which supports communication between your muscles and brain. Then there's the iron, heme iron, the most absorbable form, which keeps your blood carrying oxygen efficiently to every cell in your legs. Without good circulation, your muscles can't perform, no matter how much you exercise. And here's the beauty of it. Eggs are affordable, versatile, and easy to prepare. Just avoid drowning them in oil or pairing them with processed meats that load your system with sodium and unhealthy fats. A boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled egg, eaten whole, can be a game changer. Nas, I know some people shy away from eggs because they've been told to fear cholesterol, but the reality is, for most healthy older adults, dietary cholesterol from whole eggs has little to no impact on heart health when eaten in moderation. In fact, the benefits to muscle and nerve function often outweigh any small risk, especially when you compare it to the damage done by skipping breakfast or relying on sugar-heavy foods. The second food is one many people think of as bland, but can be transformed into a powerhouse for your legs: oatmeal. On its own, oatmeal offers steady energy thanks to its complex carbohydrates and beta-glucan fiber, which helps keep your blood sugar stable. This stability matters because wild swings in blood sugar interfere with your body's ability to repair muscle tissue. But here's where you can take it from good to exceptional. Add chia seeds. Just 1 tablespoon stirred into your oatmeal after cooking adds a hit of omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and potassium. These nutrients help your muscles contract smoothly, prevent cramps, and improve the electrical signals that keep your balance steady. Magnesium, in particular, is a hidden hero. It's one of the most common deficiencies in older adults, and low magnesium is directly linked to painful nighttime leg cramps, morning stiffness, and even irregular heartbeat. Chia seeds also help with hydration by forming a gel-like texture in liquid, which supports muscle and joint function. If you want an extra boost, top your oatmeal with a handful of blueberries or slices of banana. Though if you have diabetes, stick to berries for their lower sugar content and high antioxidant value. Speaking of bananas, they deserve their own spotlight. While some people dismiss them as too sugary, when eaten correctly, bananas can be one of the best natural leg protectors you'll find. The secret is potassium, about 400 milligrams in a single medium banana. Potassium regulates muscle contractions and nerve signals. Without enough, your muscles can misfire, leading to cramps, weakness, or sudden instability. It also helps control fluid balance, which is essential for preventing that heavy, sluggish feeling in your legs. If you're worried about the sugar, choose a banana that's slightly underripe and pair it with protein or healthy fat, like Greek yogurt or a smear of almond butter, to slow absorption and keep your blood sugar steady. Greek yogurt itself is another breakfast superstar. It's packed with slow-digesting casein protein, which feeds your muscles for hours, and it's naturally high in leucine to trigger repair. Plus, it's rich in calcium and vitamin D, which keep your bones strong and support neuromuscular coordination. And then there are the probiotics, tiny but powerful allies that reduce inflammation and help you absorb more nutrients from everything else you eat. For those sensitive to lactose, there are lactose-free or goat's milk options that deliver the same benefits without the discomfort. Finally, I want you to consider something you probably never thought of eating for breakfast: a warm, steamed sweet potato with a pinch of mineral-rich salt, like Celtic or Himalayan. This combination replenishes your body's electrolyte stores, restores muscle glycogen after the overnight fast, and jumpstarts circulation to your legs. The complex carbs give you steady energy without the crash, and the minerals, over 80 trace elements in unrefined salt, support muscle contractions and nerve signals. A half-sweet potato with a light sprinkle of mineral salt, eaten just before your main breakfast, can dramatically improve your balance and reduce that wobbly, uncertain feeling many people have when they first start moving in the morning. The foods I've shared so far are simple, they're affordable, and they work. But they only work if you use them in that critical morning window within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. Wait too long and your body will already be deep in muscle breakdown mode, making it harder to recover. In part 2, I'll share the morning habits that turn these foods into a true leg protection plan, and I'll warn you about the subtle mistakes that can undo all your progress without you even realizing it. Now that you understand the foods that can protect and rebuild your legs, I need to warn you, those foods alone won't save you if you start your mornings the wrong way. You see, the first 60 minutes after you open your eyes are like a fork in the road. One path leads to strength, balance, and confidence. The other path leads to stiffness, weakness, and eventually dependence on others. And here's the frightening truth: most people over 60 are walking down the wrong path without realizing it. I've treated patients who believed they were doing everything right. They ate healthy food, stayed active, even took supplements. But when I looked closely at their morning routines, I found little habits, harmless on the surface, that were quietly undoing all their hard work. One of the most dangerous is rushing straight out of bed and moving as if your body is ready to go. It's not. After hours of lying still, your blood pressure is lower, your circulation slower, and your muscles colder. When you stand up too quickly, your legs aren't prepared to stabilize you. That's why so many falls happen within the first 30 seconds of the day. Here's what you should do instead. Before you even put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath. Sit up slowly. Roll your ankles, flex your feet, circle your wrists. This doesn't just wake you up. It primes your blood vessels, warms your muscles, and signals your nervous system to get ready for movement. Then once you stand, hold onto a chair or wall and perform a short activation routine. Lift one leg just a few inches, hold it, then switch. 5 times each side. This wakes up your hips, thighs, and calves, the muscle groups most responsible for keeping you upright. Patients who do this every morning tell me the same thing. They feel more stable, more in control of their steps. And for someone over 60, that's priceless. But movement is only part of it. Hydration, specifically the right kind, is equally important. Remember, you wake up slightly dehydrated every single day. Even mild dehydration thickens your blood, slows nutrient delivery, and makes your muscles more prone to cramping. This is why I recommend drinking a glass of warm water with a pinch of natural mineral salt within minutes of waking. Not table salt, that's just sodium chloride stripped of all the trace minerals your muscles crave. I'm talking about Celtic sea salt or Himalayan salt, which contain magnesium, potassium, and over 80 trace elements. That tiny pinch can make a big difference in how your legs feel when you take those first steps. Another common mistake I see is delaying breakfast for hours. Many people think, I'm not hungry yet, so I'll just wait. But the longer you remain in a fasted state, the longer your body stays in muscle breakdown mode. For someone in their 30s, that might not be a big deal. For someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, it's dangerous. Muscle mass is already harder to maintain at this age, and extended fasting just accelerates the loss. Even if you can't stomach a full meal, start with something small, a boiled egg, a half cup of Greek yogurt, or a few bites of steamed sweet potato with mineral salt. Think of it as flipping the switch from breakdown to repair. There's also sunlight, the free, natural medicine too many people ignore. Just 5 to 10 minutes of early morning light on your skin helps your body produce vitamin D, a nutrient most older adults are deficient in. Vitamin D is not just about bones. It directly affects muscle strength, coordination, and even reaction time. Without it, your legs tire faster, your balance falters, and your risk of fall skyrockets. I've seen patients' walking speed improve in weeks just from correcting a vitamin D deficiency. And the easiest way to do that, step outside for a few minutes each morning before the day gets away from you. Now, let's connect all of this. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and follow this plan. You sit up slowly, breathe deeply, roll your ankles, and stand carefully. You perform a short leg activation routine, sip warm mineral water, and then eat one of the foods we talked about, maybe 2 eggs with a side of Greek yogurt and berries. You step outside for a few minutes of sunlight. That's less than 30 minutes, but in that short time, you've hydrated your muscles, warmed them up, fed them the right fuel, and boosted your vitamin D. You've done more for your long-term mobility than most people do in an entire week. But here's the part that might surprise you. Doing this once isn't enough. Strength, stability, and independence are built on consistency. The patients who see the biggest changes are the ones who treat these habits like medicine. Every day, no exceptions. Over time, the improvements are visible. They walk faster, they stand taller, they stop gripping the handrail on the stairs. One woman in her late 70s told me she no longer feared walking through the grocery store alone because her legs felt alive again. That's the kind of change we're aiming for. Of course, we also need to address the silent saboteurs, the things you might be eating in the morning that look healthy but are draining your strength. Flavored yogurts loaded with sugar. Healthy breakfast bars with more corn syrup than protein. Instant oatmeal packets filled with additives. Even fruit juice, which strips away the fiber and floods your body with sugar. These foods cause inflammation, spike and crash your blood sugar, and force your muscles to work with poor quality fuel. The result? You feel sluggish, your legs feel heavy, and you're more likely to reach for another quick fix an hour later. That's not a cycle you want to be in. This is why I stress whole, minimally processed foods in the morning. When you start the day with protein, healthy fats, complex carbs, and key minerals, you give your muscles exactly what they need to repair, grow, and perform. And when you pair those foods with the morning habits I've outlined, hydration, activation, slow transition, sunlight, you create an environment where your legs can actually get stronger, not weaker, with each passing year. I've seen patients in their 80s regain the ability to walk without a cane. I've seen men and women who thought their good days were behind them start taking the stairs again. And I've seen the opposite, people who ignored these habits, assuming they'd get around to it later, only to find themselves in a wheelchair within a few years. The difference isn't luck, it's daily action. I want you to remember something. Muscle loss is not inevitable. Weakness is not inevitable. Needing help to stand up or walk to the mailbox is not inevitable. You have far more control than you think if you choose to use it. Every morning is an opportunity to protect your independence. The question is, will you take it? If what I've shared today has made you rethink your mornings, I urge you to start tomorrow, not next week, not after you get organized, tomorrow. Even if all you do is drink that glass of mineral water and eat a single egg, you'll be taking a step literally towards stronger, steadier legs. And if you keep stepping day after day, you'll be amazed at where your legs can carry you.